Okay guys, really quick before we get into the video, I am actually doing a giveaway right now that has a few days left. I'm giving away $50 towards any merchandise or apparel from any manufacturer of your choice. So let's say you want to go to Kawasaki and buy a t-shirt or Triumph or Ducati, whatever it is. If you want to enter, you have to go to my last video, which I will link in the description. And there's also a card at the top of the screen right now that you can click on to go to that video. And all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, go to that video, like it, and then comment your favorite motorcycle company, and that will enter you into the giveaway to win $50 towards a t-shirt or merch or whatever. You could even get like a pair of gloves or something a little more expensive. But yeah, so open that video in a new tab, do that stuff, then come back and finish the video. Okay, let's jump in. All right, guys, we are back again. This is part 3 of my videos on retro electric motorcycles. You know, this is kind of getting fun for me. At first, I was just showing off the bikes that I kind of already knew about, but these I had to find, all of them. And I have to say, I was really surprised how many cool retro-styled electric motorcycles there are out there that I just didn't know about. I was also surprised how many crappy ones there were. Yeah, you'll see as the video goes on. Fair warning, as with the other videos I've made, most of these bikes are not mass-produced. They don't have dealer support or like service support. I mean, some of them do from the other videos, but honestly, you'll just have to figure that out if you do get one of these. But as I've said, for the most part, electric motorcycles do have a lot less to worry about. Still, if something happens, you know, to a $10,000 boutique like retro electric motorcycle, what are you going to do about it? So you've been warned. Also, many of the bikes on this list are in pre-production, so if you want one, you might have to pre-order it. So I'll put links to all of those bikes' websites in the description below. Okay, let's jump in. First on our list is the Zaiser electrocycle. Extra points for that name, I do love that. So this is a pre-order bike by Zaiser that appears to have had a few different iterations. Currently they're offering 2 models for pre-order. We have the Silhouette, not as good of a name, which has a 300 mile range, 120 mile per hour top speed, and it's a $25,000 cruiser thing. And then we have the Aero, which is a bit better name, which will run you $8,500 with a 160 mile range and a 100 mile per hour top speed. Now I'm just gonna say this from the outset, with these electric motorcycles, the proof is in the pudding. You come find me when you have made an electric motorcycle that has a 300 mile range, because the electric motorcycle companies with the most funding, like hundreds of millions of dollars, still haven't been able to get even close to that. If that were possible, Honda or some other company would already have it available. Also, these weird 3D renders, they just kind of make me laugh. Like, these things look like pre-prototype stage. We'll talk more about companies like this, so whatever. If you're out there, Zaiser, let us know. Let us know why we should trust you with our pre-order of a bike like this, because to me, it looks like you just have a 3D render and a bunch of claims. So show me why your motorcycle can get 300 miles of range and still have like a decent top speed. I don't know. Next up, we have the Modus Revolt electric motorcycle, which is far from production, but man, this thing is pretty cool. It is based loosely in style off of a vintage BMW. Yeah, that's pretty much all I know. I guess this is a partnership between multiple brands to make it, but again, there's a fair amount of mystery in the electric vehicle community about when this will even be produced. But I figured I would show it to you guys, as it is really an interesting take on what a retro-inspired sort of future motorcycle could look like. So yeah, what do you guys think about this one? I'm curious. Do you like it? I think it's pretty cool looking. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this one. Now this is a Chinese manufacturer, and they've managed to make this thing that looks like it has a little V-twin right there. Now I'm fine with this if the battery is somehow integrated into that or whatever, but how funny would it be if this was just like a plastic prop bolted to the battery? That I'm not cool with. That is not forward thinking. Anyways, this is one of the most retro-inspired e-motorcycles that we've seen. It has a solid 62 mile range, not too bad. 4.0-hour charge time, okay, not too bad. That's great, but whatever. And a 6 horsepower motor. Wait, 0.6. A 0.6 horsepower motor. Okay, am I reading that wrong? Like the first motorcycles ever produced about half of a horsepower. What's going on here? You think this is slow. This is the Monroe 2.0. I wonder how slow the Monroe like 1.0 was. Like, how would you even be moving if you don't even have 1 horsepower? I've actually ridden around on my kid's little electric car, and if you put it in the medium mode, I think it also produces about 1 horsepower or so, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't even hardly move. Like, this would be so slow, you would have problems balancing at that point. I don't know, hopefully that number is wrong. Hopefully it's 6 and not 0.6, but there you go. And apparently you can get it for $1,200. How is this not an e-bike? Like, what's happening here? It doesn't appear to have pedals, but it doesn't even produce a single horsepower. No horsepower is given. Next on our list is the Nawa Racer. So this one is more of a tech experiment. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. They are making a real cool motorcycle, but the big thing is what they're calling a hybrid battery that apparently does a bunch of cool things, all of which are like 10 times better than other batteries. Okay, but what are the specs gonna be for this thing? Well, that's not really known, so either they're waiting to have it all worked out, or they're so far from making an actual motorcycle, they have no clue, and this thing is really just a clay mold. Either way, it's a nice looking clay mold, it's very retro looking, and yeah, I like it. But sadly, I don't have a lot of information on it. Okay, let's talk about Dongma. Oh, good name. So this is a Chinese company making well over 1,000 different kinds of motorcycles. I'm not kidding. They've got everything from fake BMWs to fake Vespas. So here's a beautifully designed retro electric motorcycle made by Dongma that I'm sure is gonna run great, is gonna have quality parts, you're not gonna have any problems, but hey, it's like $700. 1 to 2,000 watts of power, which is the equivalent to just over 1 horsepower or maybe just over 2 horsepowers, depending on whether you're getting 1 or 2,000 watts. I mean, it's no slouch when you put it up against the Monroe 2.0. That would be the slowest electric motorcycle race of all time. This thing versus the Monroe, 2 Chinese electric motorcycle things that just are going absolutely nowhere. Probably a lot like these companies. So yeah, I guess I'm showing this to you so you can go buy one and let us know. Let us know how it works. It's just like $800, who cares? I wonder if I could buy one. Maybe that's what I should do. That would make a fun video. I might make that happen. Okay, next up we have Orphiro, and remember guys, wait, Orphiro? Orphiro. Yeah, Orphiro. So Orphiro, whatever, is more than just an electric motorcycle. Orphiro, God, that's hard to say. It is a company where youth is informed and learned about electric mobility to prepare them for tomorrow's automotive market. Who wrote this? Like, what does that sentence even mean? It's like they took random buzzwords like informed, electric, youth, market, innovative. They should have thrown the word innovative in there. And yet they still used those words and managed to say absolutely nothing. So this thing is still in development. We have nothing really to say about it. Here's what I'm learning. You find these companies, but so often it's just a website featuring a cheap 3D render and a bunch of promises. And it means nothing, honestly. But hey, more power to them. If they make something, that's great. But as of right now, it just feels like these companies are trying to get investments and get backing, and they're not actually making anything. Yeah, I'm getting a bit snarky. This is all gonna get a lot better. Just stick with me, guys. Some of these have been cool so far, but a lot of these I'm suspicious about. Okay, I'm gonna briefly mention this as it's not a specific production motorcycle. This is a company called Omega, and they actually make custom electric motorcycles for people, which if you're in the market for some of these bikes and you're willing to pay like $10,000, I don't know, maybe you could get a custom electric motorcycle from Omega. So this EV200 is a Honda CB200 that is now electric. So 30-mile range, 60-mile-per-hour top speed. This thing's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool looking, and it's got decent numbers. And the design is obviously fantastic. Sure, it's like a custom old Honda. Of course, it's gonna look good, but it is a really cool custom electric bike. Like, they did a good job with it. Not sure how street legal something like this would be, but I do really like what this company is doing. To me, this makes sense. Take an old Honda CB or something cheap that doesn't have, you know, an engine or anything, it's just like a frame, and put an electric motor in it. That seems like a really cool idea, and if they have a system, you know, for working with specific old motorcycle frames, then yeah, I think it's really cool. Has a lot of potential. All right, next on our list is the Sonders motorcycle. This is a bike that is available for pre-order that looks pretty promising. I would say this is the least retro of all the bikes on this list, but you know, that's pretty subjective. It's neo-retro at the very least. Like, I would at least say it's neo-retro, and it's slimmed down and simple, and yeah, it just makes you want to call it retro because it is so simple. And it looks like a $100 deposit locks in a price of $5 grand. Wow. that's really not bad. It looks like it's gonna be cool. Let's look at these numbers. A full charge in under 4 hours, a range of up to 80 miles an hour. That seems honest, right? I like that. 20 peak horsepower. Okay, that's fantastic, because the thing can't weigh much more than like 250 pounds. That's really solid, and best of all, that price tag is really good at $5,000. I'm kind of tempted to get this. If you're out there, Saunders, just hit me up. I want to check this out. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy it, but just hit me up. Hit me up. Okay guys, we've made it to number 1, and in terms of the actual bike, yeah, I would say maybe Saunders should be at number 1, but this thing is super cool and it's definitely more retro than the Saunders. This is the Kosynier board track racer, and oh my goodness, I love that they went with this style. I feel like more motorcycle companies in general should make bikes that emulate this style. The board track racers are some of the coolest looking motorcycles of all time. Of course, there's bikes like the Indian FTR that do sort of emulate this style, but not like in a hardcore way and not to this level. This literally looks like it fell straight out of like 1925. This is actually more of an e-bike as it does have pedals. They're kind of hidden in some of these pictures, but the performance though is solid. A claimed 13-ish horsepower, 60 miles per hour, and a 60 to 160 kilometer range. So that's between 37 and 100 miles. That's pretty good. That's not a great range, I will say, but a lot of those other numbers are kind of insane. I wonder how exactly they're selling something with pedals that's putting out numbers like this, and what's going on with this engine motor thing. Like, is that real and useful? I have so many questions for this company. Seriously, if you're out there and you want to hit me up, my Instagram is in the description. I know I've had multiple companies reach out to me who've watched my videos where I'm talking about their company in the video and they've reached out to me. So hit me up on Instagram. I would love to try some of these e-bike, e-motorcycle things out and see what they're cracked up to be and report back to you guys. But yeah, that was the final one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of some of these. Don't forget to sign up for the giveaway I mentioned earlier. There's info in that description below. And yeah, until next time, ride safe.